Okay, dear students, welcome to the today's class. We were started a very last maybe this is the last chapter or new chapter of biology, chapter 11, and something to get from here in last topic's conception of reproduction maybe, and also we tried to understand some important parts of the flower here. Sorry. And we already started the live and Zoom vice versa here. Maybe the last topics we discuss about the calyx, the flower part, floral part. With the calyx we tried to understand calyx, up to the calyx, then third part of the flower, that means flower parts. Third one is the corolla, and you know that corolla is also each and every parts. In first one it was the thalamus, second one it was the calyx, and third one it is the corolla. Corolla is actually the outermost roll. Okay, the outermost roll of flower, and we can write about each and every segments of corolla, each and every segments of corolla is petal. Each and every segments of corolla is petal. If we think about, if this is a flower, already I drew it in last time, but just for a simple drawing here, if we think about that, likely to have that type of figure we drawn in last time. Just for here, the outer part, the attractive part of the flower is the corolla, and each and every segment, if it is the segment, this each and every segment is called petal. So asking for one more question, what is petal? You will write the answer. If it is asking for corolla, then you can write the answer also. So outermost roll and each and every segments are petal here. Then if the petal be separated from each other, then it is called polypetalous. And we can write once again another one. Sepals, in case of having sepals wholly or partially fused, then it is called gamopetalous. And then we can write once again another thing, that is, it is colorful. It is colorful parts. Also have to got that point. Colorful parts is mentioning on there, vice versa. Colorful parts, since the petals are outer part and make sure the flower attractive, so we can say it is the colorful part, an attractive part of the flower. So is it live is running now yet this time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So whatever we have learned from here, these topics: corolla, the outermost roll of flower, each and every segments of corolla is called petal, and if the petal be separated, many of the flower it can be attached, and some of the flower it can be separated singly. Okay, so that times if it is separated, it is called polypetalous. Look at here, we can remember and match with our previous lecture about to know the calyx, polycephalous and gamocephalous. There is a concentration and concept of there, and another one is the polypetalous and gamopetalous. So cephalous and petalous not be matching with 100% with their concept, but something to match with just calyx be separated each other, many of them likely that, but don't write about or think about it is same. Petal when it is the polypetalous, and gamopetalous in case of having sepals wholly or partially fused. Full or partially fused. Fused means, do you know what is the meaning of that one? What indicating about? In case of having sepals wholly or partially fused, not petal, sepals, though it is called the gamopetalous. Sepals wholly or partially fused. Fused means just you can see some case, and sepal is in the flower likely that in this way, and some are likely that fused with the petals. If it is likely that, on that case we can say it is the gamopetalous. It is the colorful part, and it has some functions, few functions we will write in here now. I want to check out 27 students. Okay, Tahiyat, I got you. Shopnil, you heard me? Shopnil, you heard me? If you don't respond, sir will note out how many days I ask you something and you don't respond me here in the class. Don't show that, sir, I am not hearing or my network problem or likely that. Shopnil, in last time I also asked you in last days. You heard me, Shopnil?
Oh. Sir, his audio is disconnected.
Okay. Functions. Some functions of the corolla also be there. Pollination. Pollination is the important function of the corolla. Attractive part of flower. Ornamental uses. Then we can write about attract bird insect, etc. for nectars. Simple. You can add with this many of the things likely to have, since pollination, you know that pollination is the precondition of fertilization. So attractive part always have that functionally active of likely to the male and female part. In case of the same flower or different flower, it is not the matter, but actually it can attract with them. We have written in there attractive part, a nice flower, it is looking attractive. It is also functional activities likely to have that. Those flower have more attractive part. People love to buy this one, carry this one, use this one for different purposes, ornamental use in different in village. If you visit on there, which flower is more attractive with their petals, they use for in their wedding ceremony, different kinds of village. You can see the festival or likely that one. And attract bird insect for nectars. Who has just thinking about that, the petal are more bright and colorful, they have much nectar. So flower and the birds, insects and other just lower types of animals are likely have to enjoy with getting with attract with the that flower whose petals are more bright and colorful. So normally we can write accordingly. This is the corolla, and now the fourth part is the androecium. Androecium. Number 4. Androecium. This is the third role. It is the third role of flower. Third role of flower. I told you, except thalamus or receptacle, the other all four parts of a complete flower are turned as the role, and so androecium is one of them. Okay. Each part of androecium is stamen. Okay. Stamen has two parts. We can just finally we can draw here to check out in there. Filament and anther. This is the two parts of each and every stamen. The junction between anther and filament is connective. It's called the connective. This part, this is the connective. Pollen actually is developed in the anther, and it turns to the gamete, for reproduction. sometimes stamen with all parts merged, stamen with all parts, sometimes if it is on there, merged together into a tube-like group. Tube-like group is, it is, we can generally we can say it is monadelphous. We can write China hibiscus is the example. Some categories also in there. So what we actually learned from that part, androecium, it is the third role of the flower. Each part of androecium is called a stamen. Many of the stamen can also have, in case of all of the stamen are combinedly, we can say the androecium. So each stamen has two parts. Basically, we have written that one. This is a tube-like structure, filament. Just covering part, or the top part of here, is the anther. An anther and filament having excuse me, a junction. This junction is called the connective. We have written in there. And pollen is developed from, actually pollen developed from this anther in the outer part, the pollen that turns to the gamete for reproduction. And sometimes if all the stamen with anther, filament and all the parts merged into the tube-like group, that means when pollen tube will be formed, all of them can merge to form the tube into tube-like group, is called monadelphous. And we can see it is the China hibiscus, the example of monadelphous. Okay, in general sense, we can know about some other about the androecium next onwards. So no man, just a bit. Okay, as no one is in the live, but I actually say, if anyone having problem in case of joining the Zoom but watching the live, sometimes captain will collect their role also to have the presence. Okay, sometimes if we see likely that 33 student, so those students are absent, last time the captain worked well, and I find out, and I don't ask you individually that you tell what about why you absent, you tell. The time will say when I will ask you individual. Don't be miss any of the single class, the offering and going on through according to the routine. Follow that one. So this is the primitive parts actually we learned here. Then we will learn next one what also have some features in case of androecium here. Androecium. Then if we see, filament are attached with two groups. If filaments are attached with two groups, it is called diadelphous. And we can check out example here, P. Then if it is the filaments are attached with many groups, I can write in there, many groups. filaments are attached with many groups, we can say it is a polyadelphous. Polydelphous. So here the example we can write accordingly. Once again, that is cotton tree, and given the scientific name also Salmalia malabarica. Salmalia malabarica. Salmalia malabarica. Okay. And stamen is going on likely to differ, but anther, here an anther, when anthers are united, into a single group, then it is asking for syngenesis. Syngenesis, you can say also. Syngenesis. Most of the case it is asking for what is syngenesis or syngenesis. 1 mark question. Most of the student are not having connected or not having giving the good answer for syngenesis. Stamen is different category. Stamen, we told that stamens with having all the filaments attached with a single group, it is monodelphous. China hibiscus, here filaments attached with 2 groups. Diadelphous, peas is the example. Attached with many groups, polydelphous, cotton tree, Salmalia malabarica. But when anthers are united into a single group, all the anther, we can see accordingly. Single group we can check out in there accordingly. Here some figure also, I will make you mine. That times it is called the syngenesis. So very first one, look at here. I will draw some figure here for you. Just for connecting here with me. Just likely to have in both case, both part. This is the monodelphous, write in below. I don't write full form. And then diadelphous, we can see similarly. Watch out in there. Similar form we can draw, likely to have. Diadelphous, monodelphous, diadelphous, and polydelphous. It is the diadelphous. I write short form in the D. You can write full form in there. Then just having the structure likely to have, and it can be attached. Polyadelphous, all the filaments, many of the filaments, many groups. That means we can separate this one is single, it is double. Many of them we can separate, make sure this is the polydelphous. C is the polydelphous, and number D. Starting part is this one, starting, and then after we can draw just cap like a structure. You can ensure up with them and make sure at the top likely to have this one and their attachment in a single port like a structure. That means, look at here, syngenesis, when anther are united, all the anther in there. Look at here. This is an anther, anther, anther. They are united in there. So it is called anther are united. It is called Syngenesis. And another one is also be there, epipetalous. Stamen free from likely to have datura flower. You will just having to know about this one. Datura flower. Just single. I draw 3, but most of them also having in there epipetalous. So what is the epipetalous? I will write in above. The state of being stamen free of attachment to corolla. Stamen free of attachment. Stamen free of attachment to corolla. Androecium. When stamen are free of attachment, it is called epipetalous. Look at here. All the 5 functional features we make sure here. Androecium, mono, single, dia, double, poly, many of them to attach. Syngenesis, anther attachment in there. Epipetalous, all the stamen are free, single. All the stamen are free and single from here. That is called epipetalous. So in case of the androecium, what we actually learn for? We learn here accordingly the many of the information. It can be asking for singly also. Each and every points, epipetalous, monopetalous, diapetalous, syngenesis. So, and with drawing figure, it can be remembered by you. I write in the short form here, you must write it in full form. And last part of the flower is the gynoecium. We will try to understand about gynoecium now, within short parts. Gynoecium. Number 5. Gynoecium. The last role or 4th role you can write about then. 4th of flower. It is also essential role. Each part of gynoecium is carpel, termed as the carpel. Carpels has 3 parts also have in there, and it can be simple if we draw likely to have that one. So stigma, style, ovary. This is the 3 parts of, you can write in singly here, the 3 parts of the carpel is stigma, style and ovary, to mention up here. When gynoecium when gynoecium with all carpels merged into merged with together then it is called syncarpus. Today's topic is very informative, so I have written many of the information here. When they are separated, that times it is called polycarpus in there. Accordingly, and ovary directly take part in the reproduction. Okay. The last and final and fourth role of a flower is the gynoecium. Each part of the gynoecium is carpel. Though, sir, it is one part. Why you can say each part? Some flower have more than two gynoecium inside the flower. So each and every part is full of the carpel. Carpel has three parts: stigma, style, and ovary. The topic: stigma, style, and ovary. And when gynoecium with all the carpels turned and merged to form suppose fruits after fertilization, the change of them, so that times it is called syncarpus. And when they are separated means stigma separately, ovary style separate, that times it is called polycarpus. And ovary directly take part in the reproduction, though all parts are very important, because if the stigma is not in there, style is not in there, no pollen tube form, anther will fall where? Every part. But ovary, since produce the egg and ovum inside it, so directly take part in the reproduction. So this is all about the flower parts. We tried to learn here and complete a huge topics about that one. I hope all of you understood. And Captain, as usual, you will send your participant each and every house in the group as usual, whatever you given, because nowadays I am very serious about the students present here and collect the roll who are absent actually. That's all about today. Everyone stay safe, stay sound. Allah Hafiz.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam. Walaikum assalam. Walaikum assalam.